Joining us now on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline is longtime friend of Lavell Edwards and a very competitive and fierce foe at the University of Utah, Ron McBride. Coach, it's great to have you with us on BYU Sports Nation on this day.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's start with this. What are your emotions like on a day like this? You don't want it to come, but it does.
You know, obviously it's a sad note because, you know, I'll miss seeing him. I'll miss talking with him. I'll miss socializing with him. You know, everything that and I always look forward to the days that we spent together on the radio show we had up here and just different social events where we were sort of unique human being, you know. I mean, so funny, you know, so witty, just you know, you know, I was supposed to. I was going to go down there today to see him at 1 o'clock today, and you know, unfortunately he passed away, and I just wish I could have spent some face-to-face time with him before he passed. But you know, he's just a unique person, and so much more than a football coach. He was. You know, he represented BYU in so many positive ways. I mean, and the LDS religion and the way of life. And he was the perfect example of you know what the school and what the religion and what the football program should be like. So he was a great example to all of us how things should be done. So he was one of those guys that you know, had all the positive ingredients.
Coach, you've mentioned the word unique a couple of times, and that's a perfect word to describe your relationship with him. You guys had a unique relationship. You guys were coaches of rival teams, yet you were great friends. How did that dynamic, that friendship develop?
Well, I think it developed all the way back to when I was an assistant coach at Utah. You know, I got to know him when I was an assistant coach back in '76. Maybe it's the first time and he was the one that I actually took a job at the University of Wisconsin, going from Utah, and Dave McLean, who was the head coach at Wisconsin at the time, was a good friend of Lavell's, and Lavell was actually the reason that I took the job at Wisconsin, and the reason I went there because Dave had been out here and asked Lavell about, you know, about the various line coaches, and he said, this guy's the best. And then I see Lavell later. I said, hey, well, thanks for helping me out with Dave McLean. He says, yeah. He said, I wanted you out of the state. I said, well, thanks. Okay. So, you know, he was, you know, there's so many good, you know, so many good memories just of and I can remember the game we beat them. The first game we beat them in 21 years at Lavell Edwards Stadium, and that's the day they do their blanket ceremony. And so after the game, he shook my hand and said, "Well, you just ruined our blanket ceremony."
Oh.
I said, "Well, had to come sooner or later."
Fantastic stuff with former University of Utah head coach Ron McBride, longtime friend of Lavell Edwards. Coach, when somebody comes up to you, let's say that they don't have any idea of who Lavell Edwards is and why he was such a big deal, not only to you and to the state of Utah, but to all of college football. If you had just a few moments with them, what would you tell them about Lavell?
Well, first of all, if you're just talking from a football standpoint, he controlled the landscape in the Mountain West Conference and the Western Athletic Conference, or the two conferences for, I forget it, but it was either 12 or 13 years or more. You know, he took a program that was a dead program and he revised it. He did it with returned missionaries and did it the way that BYU wanted to build a program. And you know, he just and nobody could, you know, I think he had something like 14 or 16 championships, 22 bowl games. You know, so his legacy football-wise speaks for itself. And then if you ask about any other things, okay, how many times did he speak at different Mormon churches throughout the country, at firesides? How many different times did he represent BYU at some function? How many times did he do a charity event where it was just between he and I? We did a lot of charity events together in the years that I was the head coach at Utah, and you know, just all kinds of different stuff. I mean, he's kind of you know, to be at one school for the amount of time that he was there, and to have the amount of success he had is unbelievable.
Coach, the commercials you shot with Lavell Edwards, the radio shows you did, and now this interview that you've done with us has brought a lot of smiles and happiness to everyone across BYU Sports Nation. Thank you so much for the time today.
Yeah, no problem. Well, I tell you, you know, I hope that all the people down in Provo, and I'm sure they do, know what a special man this was, and what he did for more than just the football program, for the school, for the state, for the religion, for the whole thing. So he was the total package.
You got it, Coach. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you again soon.